Hello, beautiful souls out there, and I am bringing another video about happiness and how to find the happiness in your life. And I couldn't do it without speaking about forgiveness and how important it is not to forget, but to forgive. So when you have taken the steps to unlock your happiness and have done the hard work, isolating your feelings and emotions, really looking at your life, finding a safe space where you can do all these things and then making changes, it leads you to the inner growth and the inner work. And one of the most beneficial, I guess, situations or ideologies, thoughts, actions that you can take is with forgiveness. And it's way more than just forgetting. I know that many of us have things in our life that we have forgotten. We have easily forgotten and pushed to the side. And what I realized for me when I was really trying to unlock happiness is that I was not forgiving. I was forgetting and pushing things down deep within me and not wanting to think of them because they were too painful, and not really looking to myself in the situation, and really kind of like blaming someone else. And that was much easier for me. So what I realized though was that once I started looking deep inside myself, and I want you to know that this was God, or the divine, guiding me, what I call the divine, guiding me to become a better person or reach my higher self. And I was told that I had to forgive, not forget, forgive. And even though things were like leading me to believe that, that I had to forgive and forget, I guess, afterwards, after forgiving, because you do want to let go of past situations. You don't want to just keep them on your mind forever. But I want you to know that when you just kind of push them aside without really dealing with them and forgetting without the forgiveness, then that can lead to some other things hanging on your shoulders. And that's what happened with me. So I want to share this and let you know how important forgiveness is, because when you forgive others, it actually leads to the most important forgiveness of all, which is forgiveness of yourself. I know a lot of times we don't even realize what we carry on our shoulders each day. And when we've gone through trauma or some horrible situationship, is what they're calling it nowadays, which really is a bad relationship of some sort, we tend to want to walk away and never remember that again. But until we address the whys and the hows and of what occurred, then we really are carrying it on us daily and we don't even realize it. And I guess that's what happened to me. And when I decided to really try to find complete happiness and bliss in my life, many things came up from the past that I had to deal with, and that I actually had to forgive not just another party for, but myself for the mistakes that I made, the choices I made. And remember, it's really not a mistake, because it's a choice that you made that leads you to whatever, a different path. And all these paths had to happen in the way they happened for you to learn and grow and become a better person. But it's hard sometimes to forgive. It's hard, it's very hard to forgive another who's broken your heart. But unless you do, you cannot heal your heart yourself and forgive yourself for making choices and decisions that you made within certain relationships or during certain experiences. And when you forgive someone else, it's really for you. I know this sounds so selfish, and I'm not meant to sound and make it sound selfish, but forgiving someone else leads to the ultimate forgiveness, which is forgiveness of yourself. And once you forgive yourself and learn from what actions you played in any situation or trauma or events, what was your role, understanding the other person's role, and really forgiving the whole situation or event and seeing it as a blessing instead of trauma, that is really enlightenment, awakening. So everybody talks about, how to, this awakening that they've experienced, or spiritual kundalini awakening, spiritual awakening, ascension, higher self. But the truth is, the highest self that you can have is the one that, when you're addressing yourself, not other people, not outside influences, but you yourself, and then owning up to your mistakes and taking responsibility for them. And even bad things that have happened to you, if you really look back, sometimes you can see the part that you played in it. Now, I know that may affect different people different ways, but in my abusive relationship, I totally see the part I played in it and the choices I made. So forgiving myself, as well as forgiving the person who physically abused me, was so detrimental in my growth, and realizing that just because I experienced something like that, that didn't define me, and that now as a woman I've grown from it and I've learned from it, and I know the signs that lead up to it, and I know my worth more, and I know what my desires are, not to get in a situation like that again, and my eyes are opened. And that to me is being awake. And that's why you see that my series of videos has that, awake is what the name of the series is, because I'm awake to the fact that I made certain choices in my life. I can't base my past on others. I have to look at the role I played in it as well. And when you do that, it can bring up some heavy emotions. So you have to remember to forgive the person, which then leads to forgiveness of self. I know that just sounds strange. It's like, why do I have to forgive myself for something that someone else did to me? But I had to forgive myself for staying in an abusive relationship. I had to forgive myself for not seeing the signs of an abusive relationship as I got into it. I had to forgive myself for the feelings I had of self afterwards. And when I did that, I am now able to let that experience go, and I have no negative emotions toward it. I can think back on that because I've completely released the emotional aspect from it and given true forgiveness to the other party. So I was able to let it go and really see the benefit of that happening to me, and the learning experience and the growth that I have faced as a woman because of it, and that I'm a better woman today because that happened. I know that it's sometimes hard for us to really realize, and a lot of times we think of our life and think of it as how difficult it can be at times, and it can be, but it's also very beautiful, and it's also very magical. And what I'm trying to do today with the forgiveness is find the magic in what has happened to me, find the blessing, and really let go of the emotional hold it has had over my life, and forgive others for their actions, and forgive myself for my reactions or actions as well. And that really has been one of the things that has led to happiness in my day-to-day life. And it's a work in progress. I work every day at being happy. I work every day at releasing the trauma of my past and understanding my fears and my doubts, and trying to get to the root of them so that I can let them go and move forward and be the best woman that I can be. And that's what I want for all of us. I want us to reach the highest potential we each have within ourselves. And I know for me, one way that has been able to occur is through the ability to forgive others and to forgive myself. So I encourage you to look at situations of your past that you may still be holding on to, that may give you fear or doubts about, whether it's relationships or jobs or career choices or your community, and look to forgive others. And then the most important thing is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself so you can move forward. And by forgiving yourself, you also acknowledge that you will never allow that behavior to occur in your life again. You've learned from it. And if you do, forgive yourself again. That's it. Sometimes I have sad feelings. Don't think I wake up every day happy and in this great mood. Sometimes I have these reoccurrences, and it alerts me to the fact that I still have something I need to work on. But I forgive myself for feeling sad, because if I don't, then I'm carrying that sadness day to day and feeling bad and continuing to degrade myself or bring myself down. And that's not what I want out of life, and that's not what I want for you. So remember, forgiveness can be a daily strategy or resource that you use to find happiness within your life. And I wish you the best of luck, beautiful souls. And until the next video, know that I support you. I know what your journey is like to happiness. I know what extreme sadness feels like, and I encourage you to continue on and to continue to search and work hard for your happiness, because no one will fight as hard as you do. So fight for your happiness. Fight for everything that you know is right within yourself.